I got addicted to my time at Portia for a few weeks, and I don't think I'm even close to finishing it. It's a really big game with many things to unlock, so I figured I should talk about it after more than 70 hours of playtime. My Time at Portia is a 2019 game developed by Pathia Games and published by Team 17. If you like games like Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, Minecraft, and Stardew Valley, you'll love My Time at Portia. It's an open-world life sim where you build things, farm, mine, go fishing, and more. I don't think I can mention everything about the game, so I'll try to talk about as much stuff as I can. You start the game by customizing your own character. Afterwards, your character arrives in Portia, and you are introduced to Presley, the commissioner of the Portia Commerce Guild. He proceeds to show you your dad's old workshop and a letter. In the letter, your dad basically talks about how he felt guilty about leaving you, so he figured, hey, I'll just give this rundown workshop to my kid to make up for things, good luck. And that's how your story begins in Portia. Your goal is to settle in as a builder, befriending the people and expanding your workshop. One thing that stood out to me about the game's setting is that it's set in a post-apocalyptic world, with a history that's quite detailed. Like, I wasn't paying much attention to all the lore that the Portians were talking about, but from what I remember, humans in the old world lived underground because of a calamity, and a lot of people starved to death for hundreds of years. The story was darker than I expected, considering how the actual game is like a ray of sunshine. Even the Portians were nice, like way too nice. You can challenge practically everyone to a fight, and regardless of whether they win or lose, your relationship with them increases. As I mentioned earlier, there are a ton of things to do in Portia, but the main focus is crafting. After getting your builder's license in the beginning of the game, you can start taking commissions from the people in Portia. The commissions are like daily quests that you can do, with random people requesting certain items to be made and delivered to them. Every commission has a time limit of more or less a week, and you get rewarded with reputation points, gold, and a chance to increase your relationship with whoever posted that task. The higher your workshop rank is, the more difficult and rewarding each commission will be. To start building something, you need to go to your work table and place the necessary materials on the assembly station. Additional materials that need crafting can be done on other equipment like a furnace and a grinder, which you also need to build. Projects start off simple, but they gradually grow more complex the further you progress through the story. This is aided by data disks, which are very important in my time at Portia. You get these disks every time you go mining, and by giving a certain amount to the research center, you get blueprints that let you build new and better equipment. You'll end up hoarding hundreds of items in the game because practically everything can be used for building and crafting. My Time at Portia makes you really feel a sense of progression in the game. Like, you can even see Portia slowly develop with each major project that you complete. The gameplay loop makes it very addicting as well, since you have to wait for certain materials to finish crafting. The timers actually reminded me of mobile games. You know, the ones that tempt people to pull their credit cards out just to speed things up. But of course, My Time at Portia doesn't have microtransactions. The game just encourages you to do other things while waiting for the timer to end. This led to a cycle that made it really hard to put the game down. Like, I would be crafting something that would be ready by the next day, and since the game only saves when you go to sleep, I end up playing for another day just so I could build even more things. So yeah, time really flies when you play this game, but I think that the timers are also the game's biggest con. Since projects become more complex later on, you end up spending even more time just waiting for materials to be ready. I ended up skipping entire days just to finish building bigger projects that would unlock more things to do. Other than crafting, there is combat in the game, but it's very basic and clunky. Like, all you need to do is spam the attack button until you win. There are a few dungeons to explore as well, with each section divided by the items that you can acquire, and the recommended level to go into them. I don't really have much to say about this one because combat is just not that interesting. Like, the level design and the enemies are very repetitive in dungeons. Same thing with the bosses at the end. I still think that it's a fun addition though. It just gets tiring to play through them for long periods of time. I think that the game shines the most with its life sim elements. I remember being intimidated by the amount of people that lived in Portia. I think there are over 50 characters, so it felt like I was constantly seeing a new face early in the game. They all have their own schedules, so most of them wander around Portia at different times. I didn't think they were that interesting at first, but they actually reveal more things about themselves when you level up your relationship with them. It's a really slow process, even when you talk to them every day, do their quests, and give them the right gifts. One thing that really improves the game is the skill tree. Each time you level up, you can use skill points on 3 different sections. Depending on where you allocate your points, you can improve your combat endurance or even gain extra materials when you're cutting trees or mining. Just like other games in the genre, the game has 4 seasons each year, and there are a number of special events scattered throughout the calendar. They're pretty varied, some are even unique. Like there's a day where you have to collect tons of presents falling from an airship, and there's even a martial arts tournament, and there's also exclusive items to buy, so it feels like you always have something new to look forward to. Overall, the game's just plain fun and addicting. I thought it wasn't that interesting when I first started out, but the game hooked me in the more I unlocked its features. I didn't think that I would end up liking it too, because it's far from being a polished game. It's nothing game-breaking, but NPCs frequently teleport out of nowhere, and there are a lot of bugs and glitches. The music can get repetitive too, and some dialogue and cutscenes were awkward to watch because the game would just go from having voice acting to just being mute. It was jarring, but I found those things to be small issues because I had fun with everything else. If you guys want a relaxing game that you can easily spend a lot of time in, I recommend My Time at Portia. It's a massive game with so much to see and do, and there's never any pressure to complete things immediately in the game. My Time at Portia is available on practically every platform, even mobile. There's actually another game coming soon, My Time at Sandrock. It's going to be in early access, but I'm hoping it'll be just as good, if not better than My Time at Portia. Let me know what you thought about the video. As much as I like action games, it's fun chilling with these life sims. I'll definitely talk about more games like this in the future, so I hope one of them catches your eye. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.